Sup, you beautiful bastards. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, and let's just jump into it. And the first thing I want to talk about today is internet-y/business news, so let's talk about Fortnite. Let's start today's show off light, because it gets horrible. It's been so fascinating to see the rise and spread of this game. It is so also now in the mainstream that just in the past 2 days, keep in mind, we're talking about over the weekend, Forbes had 6 articles about Fortnite. Forbes, I'm not talking about Polygon, Kotaku, IGN, any of that. It's just one of those things, like we always say, when the numbers are there, you can't deny it. In some of the news we've been seeing, Lawbreakers Studios, they seem to be trying to get in on that PUBG Fortnite money. They have a new battle royale game called Radical Heights that goes early access tomorrow. But on that note, no one should be shocked that other game studios are going to try and get in on that battle royale money. We also got the news that Fortnite just on the iPhone is bringing in about $2 million a day. Who knows what that number is going to go to as they get more widespread adoption, whether it be just because then they include Android or just more people finding out about the game. Obviously this is new, but that means that right now they're making more money than Candy Crush Saga, Clash of Clans, Pokemon Go, and those guys bring in stupid money daily. It's also been interesting to see how the YouTube-Twitch crossover has been affecting creators. Tyler Ninja Blevins, of course, we've talked about several times over the past few weeks. He, of course, has blown up on Twitch, but somehow the less talked about number is that on YouTube, he has gotten, just in the past 30 days, he's gotten over 170 million views. And once again, just in the past 30 days, has gained almost 3.5 million new subscribers. And unsurprisingly, we're also seeing creators not only engage with Fortnite, but also jump to Twitch to play Fortnite. One of the biggest examples we saw of that came from over the weekend, where YouTuber Logan Paul jumped over to Twitch. He'd been promoting to the channel for over a week, but this was his first time actually streaming. He peaked at around 200,000 concurrents. This stream also led to the Forbes headline, "Logan Paul is getting killed a lot in his first Fortnite Battle Royale Twitch stream." Which I will say, that headline makes me think two things. One, Fortnite is here to stay at least for a while. And two, if I really needed another thing to make me feel like these mainstream sources are just like any other blog on the internet, that headline just sealed it for me. But main point, where I will end this, is I'm fascinated to see where this goes. One of the last times I saw adoption and success at this level, it was Minecraft. Now Minecraft and Fortnite, of course, are inherently different games. Of course, they both involve building to different levels. But because Fortnite doesn't necessarily have an incredibly young target demographic, does that mean it has a stronger staying power? Also, what will be very interesting to see is how they fight off and keep their market share from other battle royale games. I won't even try to predict what's going to happen next, but I'm very excited to see. Then let's talk about Google and YouTube at the center of a data controversy. Today, child advocacy groups filed a formal complaint with the FTC against Google. And the complaint accuses YouTube of violating children's online privacy and allowing ads to target them on YouTube. And the specific focus here is on children under the age of 13. And the reason they're focused on that is the collection of that data is a violation of the Child Online Privacy Protection Act. And that act states that in the United States, any company that intends to collect data about kids younger than 13, they have to first notify and receive consent from the parents. And the complaint says Google has made substantial profits by doing this, and that it involves tens of millions of US children. And as far as YouTube's response to this, the TLDR is they're essentially saying we're not for children. And more specifically, a YouTube spokesperson said, "While we haven't received the complaint, protecting kids and families has always been a top priority for us. We will read the complaint thoroughly and evaluate if there are things we can do to improve. Because YouTube is not for children, we've invested significantly in the creation of the YouTube Kids app to offer an alternative specifically designed for children. Even their terms of service reading, if you are under 13 years of age, then please do not use the service. There are lots of other great websites for you. Talk to your parents about what sites are appropriate for you." Now, I will say, on the note of we are not for children, it all being in the terms of service, that has really not been effective. There's been research done that says around 45% of 8 to 12-year-olds have a YouTube account. Now, the thing is, YouTube's response that their site isn't for children does pose a problem. The complaint argues that YouTube has actual knowledge of both the large number of child-directed channels on YouTube and the large numbers of children using YouTube. To help their case here, the advocacy group collected examples of this knowledge. And some of the evidence includes screenshots of Barbie ads that appear between videos aimed at children, also pointing to a number of channels with content targeted towards children on Google Preferred. And while Google doesn't let advertisers select age groups under the age of 18, the complaint says there are still a number of ways to still target children. Things like selecting keywords related to kids, such as toddler, toy. Now, as far as the potential impact this could have on YouTube, if it goes much further, it could be huge. The complaint is asking that the FTC fine YouTube up to $41,484 per violation. For one violation, we're talking about the potential for billions of dollars. But ultimately, where I stand on this is this feels like more of a we're trying to screw YouTube than actually protect children kind of move. And the reason I say that is there is a YouTube Kids app already. It's meant for children. It already bans targeted advertising. If the FTC finds that YouTube did violate this act, then most likely, other than the fines, we're going to just see age gate screens that just say, "Are you over 13?" and then someone that's under 13 goes, Yeah. And so at that point, that under 13-year-old is still being tracked. They just had to lie first. Something a good number of people have already done on YouTube because they wanted to watch age-gated videos and they weren't 18, so they just said they were 18. Right, Papa YouTube's not knocking on doors doing the reverse club situation like show me some ID. But I don't know, that's my personal takeaway. Am I not thinking enough about protecting the children? Or are you kind of the same mindset? But from that, I want to share some stuff I love today. And today in Awesome, brought to you by Postmates. Postmates, of course, a fantastic delivery on demand app. Whether you want something from the store, your favorite restaurant, boom, open up the app, they will deliver it to your home, your work, your wherever. As someone that is just generally slammed and doesn't have a ton of free time, it has become vital to my life. And also, even when I do get a little time to myself, it's just nice and convenient. So if you want to check it out like many from the nation already have, go to postdefranco.com, download the app, make sure you enter an offer code PHILAD. Postmates will give you $100 in free delivery credit, but a big note, that is only going to work until the 12th. So if you've been waiting to test it out, I highly recommend you do it now. And the first bit of awesome is we got a trailer for Solo. Also, I don't know how to say this without seeming like I'm just shitting on the movie and being super cynical, but I'm gonna go into this movie with low expectations. I'm excited, of course. I'm hoping for the best, but Alden, the guy that's playing Han Solo, is probably the thing I'm least excited about. And actually seeing him act in the trailer makes me concerned. And I feel like even the people that made the trailer, the people that run the Star Wars YouTube channel, have that same mindset. If you actually look at the tags for the trailer, the only names they use in the tags, Donald Glover, Emilia Clarke. But that said, I think it's good to go into movies with low expectations. Then we have actually another trailer that I'm excited about, but then also is extremely skeptical and worried. We got a trailer for the movie adaptation of Fahrenheit 451. Stars Michael B. Jordan, Michael Shannon. On paper, that sounds like it should work, but we'll see. We also got a new trailer for Avengers Infinity War. And if you need some more Cardi B in your life, she did a video with GQ where she went undercover on Reddit, Twitter, and YouTube. And if you want to see the full versions of everything I just shared, the secret link of the day, anything I talked about today, links as always are in the description down below. Then let's talk about this whole Jimmy Kimmel, Melania Trump situation. On April 2nd, Jimmy Kimmel, on his late night show, he was doing this bit about the Easter celebrations at the White House. And one of the targets of his jokes was Melania Trump.
I want to really thank the First Lady, Melania, who has done an incredible job. She worked so hard on this event, and so I want to thank you.
Yeah. Not a chance she did one thing to help set that up. She didn't diag, she didn't feel bad. The only thing she's been working on is an escape tunnel.
And then later making fun of Melania Trump's heavy accent when she was reading a book to children.
Be clever and curious, just like a cat. Ask lots of questions about this and that.
About this and that. Guillermo, you realize what this means? You could be First Lady of the United States.
What followed was Sean Hannity of Fox News then blasting Kimmel.
Liberal Jimmy Kimmel making fun of the First Lady of the United States and her involvement in the White House Easter egg roll, even her accents. Jimmy, you're a despicable disgrace. Ass clown Kimmel. Now, I got to tell you something. What a disgrace. Hey, Mr. Kimmel, that's her fifth language. How many do you speak?
Jimmy Kimmel then hits back on his show.
Now, what even is an ass clown? I was thinking about it this morning. Is it an ass that's a clown, or is it a clown that actually lives in an ass, like a little bozo bird in your butt cheeks? I honestly don't know. And more importantly, why is Sean Hannity openly fantasizing about clowns in the ass? Sean Hannity's problem is, for 8 years while Obama was president, he was unable to get an erection. For 8 years, not one erection. And he tried everything. He Viagra, Cialis, he tried looking at pictures of Paul Ryan with his shirt off, didn't work. Went to office Christmas parties with Bill O'Reilly, nothing worked. He wasn't able to, but now that Trump is president, here's the twist. Sean Hannity is unable to have anything but an erection, okay? He's had an erection since November of 2016, and it's driving him mad. He's lost his mind. This is the guy who defended the multiply alleged pedophile Roy Moore, and I'm a despicable disgrace. I'm the ass clown. Here's the thing. If I'm an ass clown, and I might very well be, you, Sean, are the whole ass circus.
And then this turns into a Twitter back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back. I literally, if I read all the tweets, this would be a 10-minute segment. To boil it down, Hannity keeps adding Disney, which of course is Jimmy Kimmel's employer. He keeps using the hashtag pervert Kimmel. He keeps referring back to Jimmy Kimmel's old segments on his show, The Man Show. Things like Jimmy Kimmel in blackface when he was playing Karl Malone. Video of Kimmel during a bit asking women to touch the outside of his pants. Referring to Jimmy Kimmel as Harvey Weinstein Jr. here. Kimmel responding, every woman in that bit was a willing participant. It was a comedy bit, they signed releases, so they were in on it. Also asking Hannity things like, when your clown makeup rubs off on Trump's ass, does it make his butt look like a creamsicle? Also essentially saying that it's pretty funny that Hannity is trying to take the high road here and say that Jimmy Kimmel is bad, though he defended the president's comments like grab them by the pussy. Hannity responded to that, stop deflecting, Jimmy. Locker room talk versus your interactions with women, asking them to touch it and put their mouths on it. They then just continued taking shots at one another. At one point, Kimmel tweeted and then deleted this tweet featuring a picture of a clown straddling Hannity, writing, this ass clown has some words for one Sean Hannity. This continued and continued until yesterday, where Jimmy Kimmel apologized, tweeting, while I admit I did have fun with our back and forth, after some thought I realized that the level of vitriol from all sides, mine and me included, does nothing good for anyone and in fact is harmful to our country. Even in 2018, the vile attacks against my wife and wishes for death on my infant son are shocking, and I encourage those who made them to give their words and actions thought. I too will give my words more thought and recognize my role in inciting their hatefulness. By lampooning Sean Hannity's deference to the president, I most certainly did not intend to belittle or upset members of the gay community, and to those who took offense, I apologize. I will take Sean Hannity at his word that he was genuinely offended by what I believed and still believe to be a harmless and silly aside referencing our First Lady's accent. Mrs. Trump almost certainly has enough to worry about without being used as a prop to increase TV ratings. I am hopeful that Sean Hannity will learn from this too and continue his newly found advocacy for women, immigrants, and First Ladies, and that he will triumph in his heroic battle against sexual harassment and perversion. So for those of you kind of running a little bit slow today based off that last line, not really an apology to Sean Hannity, but seemingly an apology for engaging in this kind of back and forth that furthers the divide, as well as moments where he may have offended gay viewers. Also interesting, while all of this was happening, is that there was a petition to boycott Jimmy Kimmel, and it spread pretty fast. As of recording this video, there are over 178,000 signatures. The petition saying this was specifically about Jimmy Kimmel's comments about the First Lady. Reportedly, all the signatures will be sent to the, quote, front door of ABC Disney. And ultimately, where I land on this, if we're gonna specifically talk about the initial joke, I am personally of the mindset of we should be able to try and joke about everything. That said, I do think that going after the wives, going after the children of the president is still punching down, especially when it's something like an accent. Like, she speaks multiple languages, yes, she has a strong accent, so what? Right, it's petty, it's punching down. If you kind of want to joke about one of her side projects being anti-bullying, yet she is married to Donald Trump, one of the biggest bullies online. Right, and most people that support Donald Trump, they know he's a bully. I mean, even people on the left, when you were watching those Republican primaries and Donald Trump was just fucking tearing the soul out of Jeb Bush, a bunch of you were like, yeah, get him, because you thought that he had no chance. Right, but at the same time, I think Sean Hannity should not be such a fucking hypocrite. Like, there are several examples I could use of Hannity taking aim at Michelle Obama, but just so you understand, like, his mindset. How easily at times he took aim at Michelle Obama and just tried to showcase something in the worst way possible. You might remember Michelle Obama was in this kind of like joke rap music video where it was like trying to get kids to go to college, and this is how Sean Hannity introduced it.
All right, ISIS is on the rise. The Middle East is in complete turmoil. The Western world is under constant threat from Islamic jihadists, but your First Lady, Michelle Obama, is busy making a rap music video about going to college.
She's criticized her clothes, says that she has sounded bitter and angry. And that's without even diving into Sean Hannity's different treatment of accusations against, let's say, former President Bill Clinton and accusations against Donald Trump. But ultimately, to me, this whole situation, whether it's side switching or whatever, it just seems like more of the same. As far as will anything happen to Jimmy Kimmel, I think unless advertisers actually pull out or his numbers actually do take a hit, probably not. That said, when it comes to outrage and these companies, you never really know how they're going to react. But ultimately, we'll wait and we'll see. And I want to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts on this? Was Kimmel in the wrong? Was it that big of a deal? Is Sean Hannity right? Or is he just kind of, I don't know, out of nowhere white knighting this situation for ratings? I'd love to know your thoughts here. And then let's talk about why we have Syria in the news. So if you're not familiar, Syria has been in a state of civil war since 2011. And the major groups fighting it include Bashar al-Assad's government forces, the Islamic State, Kurdish militants, and other domestic opposition groups. And during all of this, foreign countries became increasingly involved as ISIS spread throughout the region. And while there are other nations involved, the biggest players in recent days have been France, Russia, and the United States. And the reason we're talking about Syria again is on Saturday, reportedly, the Syrian government carried out attacks in the city of Douma. Douma is a rebel holdout. It's near the capital, Damascus. It's controlled by a group known as the Army of Islam. The attacks reportedly included bombs dropped from helicopters. Activist groups in the area began reporting that the attack included chemical weapons, many posting graphic pictures, graphic videos of small children unconscious and on ventilators. Men, women, and children asphyxiated, blue-eyed, having foamed at the mouth. And this attack apparently was part of weeks of assaults by the Syrian government and Russian allies in the larger area of eastern Ghouta. And as far as the number dead and injured, that has varied these past few days. The Ghouta Media Center reported there were 75 dead on their Twitter, referencing barrels dropped by Assad helicopters containing sarin gas. The Union of Medical Care and Relief Organizations that run medical facilities in eastern Ghouta told the BBC that 70 deaths had been confirmed. The Syrian American Medical Society and Syrian Civil Defense said that at least 42 were dead with 500 injured, also noting that many gave off a chlorine-like smell. We've also seen American news agencies reporting at least 40 dead, but none of the news outlets have been able to independently verify the attack or number dead. Now, as far as the response to this attack, the Syrian state media issued a statement denying they carried out a chemical attack. The White House issuing a statement saying these reports, if confirmed, are horrifying and demand an immediate response by the international community. The Assad regime and its backers must be held accountable and any further attacks prevented immediately. Russia, with its unwavering support for the regime, ultimately bears responsibility for these brutal attacks, targeting of countless civilians and the suffocation of Syria's most vulnerable communities with chemical weapons. By shielding its ally Syria, Russia has breached its commitments to the United Nations as a framework guarantor. It has betrayed the Chemical Weapons Convention and UN Security Council Resolution 2118. The United States calls on Russia to end this unmitigated support immediately and work with the international community to prevent further barbaric chemical weapons attacks. We also had the Russian Foreign Ministry calling this fake news. And then the situation really kicked into gear when Trump went on Twitter. On April 8th, Trump tweeted, "Many dead, including women and children, in mindless chemical attack in Syria. Area of atrocity is in lockdown and encircled by Syrian army, making it completely inaccessible to outside world. President Putin, Russia, and Iran are responsible for backing Animal Assad. Big price to pay. Open area immediately for medical help and verification. Another humanitarian disaster for no reason whatsoever. Sick." Then adding, "If President Obama had crossed his stated red line in the sand, the Syrian disaster would have ended long ago. Animal Assad would have been history." And this morning at a press conference, President Trump talked about this situation once again.
We are meeting with our military and everybody else, and we'll be making some major decisions over the next 24 to 48 hours. If they're innocent, why aren't they allowing people to go in and prove? Because as you know, they're claiming they didn't make the attack. If it's Russia, if it's Syria, if it's Iran, if it's all of them together, we'll figure it out and we'll know the answers quite soon.
But also, that's not the end of the story, because early this morning, Israel reportedly carried out airstrikes against a Syrian government airbase known as T4 in the Homs province. And it was an airstrike that Syria's state news agency initially called a suspected U.S. attack, but a Pentagon spokesman denied U.S. involvement. Now officials in both Syria and Russia are referring to it as an Israeli airstrike. According to two U.S. officials speaking with NBC News, Israel informed the U.S. in advance. The British-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said that 14 died in the airstrike, that number including Iranians and 3 Syrian officers. With that, Iran's Fars news agency confirmed that 4 of their own were killed in the attack. Also, as of recording this video, it's not clear if this is in response to the chemical attack. Israel doesn't typically comment on attacks in Syria. They haven't issued one here. Israel has also attacked inside Syrian borders more than 100 times since 2012. And with that, reportedly, they're usually targeting weapons convoys destined for Hezbollah. But ultimately, the big question is what happens from here? Obviously, Trump said we're going to have a decision in the next 24 to 48 hours. We're also talking about President Trump, who publicly stated on April 3rd, March 30th, we're going to get the troops out. Now we have Trump talking about Russia, Putin by name, Syria, Iran, saying there's going to be a big price to pay.
Everybody's going to pay a price. He will, everybody will.
Also on March 30th, Trump had ordered the State Department to suspend $200 million in recovery funds for Syria. And so now, less than 2 weeks later, is Trump, because of this attack, willing to turn the ship around? I don't know, but as far as how Trump is seen by the international community, it's going to be based on what he does next. He has said there will be a big price to pay, so he's either going to be seen as someone that will actually do something, or he's just puffing his chest up. And so I'll pass the question off to you. One, I'd love to know, in general, were you someone that supported Trump, or you've been against Trump? And then tell me what you think about Trump's handling of this situation in Syria. I ask because just in general, it's been pretty interesting to see what people in Trump's corner have been saying and people that have normally been against Trump. But I want to know with you specifically, what are your thoughts here? And that was actually going to be the end of today's show, but just a quick update before I say goodbye. The news just broke as I was finishing up today's show that the FBI raided Michael Cohen's office. Cohen, of course, President Trump's longtime personal lawyer. And reportedly, the FBI seized records related to several topics, including payment to a certain porn star. So I just wanted to give you that last second update, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more to talk about tomorrow. And that's where I'm going to end today's show. And remember, if you liked this video, like what I'm trying to do on this channel, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you got notifications turned on. Also, if you missed the last Philip DeFranco show, you want to catch up, click or tap right there to watch that. Or if you want something lighter, you can watch today's brand new behind the scenes vlog. Click or tap right there. But that said, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.